And a U.S. blockade on Iranian ports starting tonight is sending shockwaves through South Korea's economy. Heavily reliant on Middle Eastern crude, domestic industries face an imminent supply cliff and surging costs as the government rushes to respond. Kim Do-yeon reports.
The United States is set to enforce a total maritime blockade on all Iranian ports starting Monday, which could cripple South Korea's core industries. With Middle Eastern crude accounting for 70% of imports, domestic refiners and petrochemical companies face an imminent supply cliff. Domestic economists point out that the blockade adds a complex diplomatic and economic burden on Seoul.
While this should be resolved through negotiations with Iran, the Trump administration's blockade of Hormuz has created a new dilemma, especially given Washington's current unfavorable view of Seoul. We now have the Trump risk compounding our existing problems, making the situation progressively worse.
The Minister of Trade, Industry and Resources Kim Jong-kwan conducted emergency inspections on Monday at 4 petrochemical manufacturing facilities. To prevent supply chain disruptions in essential sectors, the government is allocating 674.4 billion won from a supplementary budget passed last week to subsidize the import of naphtha from non-Middle Eastern regions. The ministry is also drafting emergency regulations to ban the hoarding of raw petrochemical materials. However, global market analysts warn the ripple effects will be severe across the region's major economies.
So you're going to see, especially markets like in Japan, in Korea, in India, those markets are going to be hit hard, especially sectors that heavily rely on oil, right? So oil transportation, sectors such as airlines, such as transportation, consumer cyclicals, chemicals, those sectors are going to be hit the hardest.
The domestic aviation sector is already bracing for the shock. For airlines where fuel constitutes a significant portion of operating budgets, the financial impact is severe. The mounting strain is forcing low-cost carriers into emergency measures. T-Way Air announced on Monday it is accepting applications for voluntary unpaid leave from its cabin crew for May and June. Global freight rates are climbing steadily, placing severe financial strain on export-driven small and medium-sized enterprises. Unlike large corporations, SMEs rely heavily on spot contracts, leaving them fully exposed to surging logistics costs. Kim Do-yeon, Arirang News.